Ebro in the morning is finished. It's all done. They're out of here. I really never listened to the show. If I could count how many times I listened to Ebro in the morning, it'd be very few. It'd be like 2 or 3 times. I'm serious. I really, it's worse than the Breakfast Club. It's worse than the Breakfast Club. And the Breakfast Club I kind of enjoyed. I used to work. I used to wash dishes, and I would listen to the Breakfast Club while I was washing pans and pots and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's I can't say that I'm going to miss them at all. I can't say that they were an integral part of my life, or that they changed me and really had a profound impact on what my day to day life is like. Can't really say it. Wiz, you got a wrench. I don't. I'm not. I'm gonna start not doing shows while my nephew and niece are here. Yeah, anytime my nephew and niece are here, I'm not going to do a show. So you have a wrench wizard. So salute to you, sir. That's the reason why I wasn't here. So if it was anybody else, I probably wouldn't answer that question. But you have a wrench, and I respect you. You have good stories. Um, but yeah, so yeah, that's the reason why. Whenever my niece and nephew are over, I refrain from doing a show from now on, going into 2026. I did not get your email. No, I did not. You must have just sent it recently. I didn't get it. No, I did not. If if it's something for a show, I'll and see if I could possibly fit it in until tomorrow. I have a second story that I want to get into today. This it's a doozy. It's a doozy. But Ebro, Rosenberg, Laura Stiles, or Lauren Stiles. I don't even know. I think it's Lauren. That's how much I listen to that recognize that show. Is it Laura Stiles? Let me see. Yeah, Laura Stiles. And yeah, I didn't care. I didn't. It was on Sirius XM at one point. It was on Hot 90. It was on Flop 97. Flop 97 for a good run. And it just kind of just I didn't care. I didn't care about what they were talking about. I didn't care, like, their guests, like the way they asked their questions was weird. Rosenberg seems like a what Dame Dash would call a culture vulture. He seemed like that. He had those vibes about him. I don't know why it was. He could be a true, supporter of hip hop and things of that nature. I'll give him that. But he just gave off vibes to me. And Ebro seemed like an angry old man. He just seemed like a bitter, angry man. He just seemed like he just couldn't get it together. I don't know. Lauren, she's cute. She's a cute chick. She's a few years older than myself. But she, especially for a radio chick, she's pretty cute. But she just seemed like too ha ha he he key kind of thing. She didn't really have any serious topics that I understood her to have. Maybe if I listened to the show, I could have gleaned more. Wiz is lighting it up. Hold on. Did you get my email? It was Mayweather next to Jay-Z counting money to pay someone at the basketball game. Wow, okay. I still enjoy Breakfast Club. Yeah, I like Breakfast Club when I was listening to it. Project RU something. Ebro been a hater. He was trying to get Uzi to rap on a boom bap beat. Yeah, Ebro seems like a bitter old man. I don't know. Like I said, the Breakfast Club I was more attuned to because I would listen to them while I was cleaning up pots and pans. And I was just listening to the show. They had a fun, kind of way about them. It kind of gelled when uh it was Charlamagne the God. Who I can't think about anybody else. It's Charlamagne the God. Start naming people. Charlamagne the God. What's her name? Damn, I can't remember nothing. Oh my god, this is crazy. DJ Benji and now Jess Hilarious and Laura LaRosa, but they beforehand they had goddamn what's her name? What's her name? What's her name, you guys? What's her name? Yeah, it's like shut up, okay. She a pushover and the weakest link out of Hot 97 crew. Jess Hilarious, she can go. Shut up. What do I do if my brain starts to make me tweak like a cat on a catnip? On catnip. Angela Yee, thank you. I'm like, completely forgot her goddamn name. Angela Yee. Excuse me, I don't know if it's allergies. I don't know what the hell, but yeah, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God, and DJ Benji. Lesser charge. McKelvey, Leonard Lesser Charge McKelvey, DJ Rashawn Casey, DJ Benji Rashawn Casey. Thank you for cleaning up, WizKid. You don't need to, but I appreciate you, sir. You didn't need to do that, but you did it. I appreciate it because I'm not doing it. I allow anybody to come in here as long as they're not making threats and they're not, going at people like Holly. She's the lady of the house. I'm not. I don't really care, but do what you gotta do. I don't even know what that is. Chi 2 ZZE3. I don't even know what that is. I have no idea what that is. Okay, that's just a bunch of different things going on. I have no idea. A lot of trollage, but anyway, it's over. It's over. Beat Ebro in the morning. 13 years on the air on WQHT. They were in the toilet. Their ratings were in the toilet. It was horrible. It was a terrible show. I mean, it didn't seem interesting to me. I just, like I said, the Breakfast Club at least had segments that were fun. They had the I don't know if they do this anymore. I doubt if they do it anymore. But they had a segment where they had the on Fridays. They're like they would play Rebecca Black and what's her name? God damn it! Oh my god, my brain is holy sh. Katy Perry and Rebecca Black, they play on Fridays. I thought that was, just a little cute, funny, silly way of, doing something that was funny, What is your favorite? You send me $20 in a Cash App. I'll tell you what my favorite food is. I know Star gonna have a field day with this one, but it should have been long overdue. It should have been long overdue. Yeah, and your movie. Yeah, that's an additional $20, Jonathan. Ebro bashing them now. Yeah, is Ebro still over at Apple Music? Do you know? As far as I understand, he does, and that's where he's interesting. He gave an interview. I think it was either with Tyler the Creator. Who was it with? My memory is shot today. I don't know why I didn't wake up with a better memory, but he did. His interview was pretty good. Or no, it was with the Clips. It was with Clips, and I didn't mean to put the in there. It's just Clips. He was with Clips. And he had pretty interesting conversation with them. He had pretty much good ideas, great questions. I thoroughly enjoyed that, but. I don't know, when he gets in the morning and he gets on the mic and he's with Ebro, he's with Paul Rosenberg and Laura, I'm about to call her Laura London, goddamn. Laura Stiles, it's a totally different situation. It gets terrible. That's why it's over. I like him better with Apple Music. I do. That's exactly what I'm saying. He went to the trenches in my city for an artist he called IDK. For an artist called IDK. Okay. Salute to him. He went to DC. Salute to him. Yeah, I guess when he's by himself, he should be a lone wolf, I guess. He should just be by himself. He should be like me. That's why I actually put this in. Here's my plug. My story on vocal.media, vocal.media. If only I could put links. I don't know how to put links in here. I would put links in here. They don't really, encourage you to do that. But oh my goddamn, this light pisses me off. You can't even disturb the damn wire. It's all burnt. It's burnt out. But anyway, yeah, that's awesome though, Wiz. That's awesome. Now, if we can just get 30,000 people into this live, then we could really have something popping. Are you happy that you do streams? Okay, another John. You up to $60, sir. You up to $60. My favorite food, my favorite music, and my favorite movie, my favorite food, and if I'm happy if I'm doing streams. If you want AMA, you have to put MONEY. I'm not doing free AMA. Not doing free AMA. Unless you have a wrench, only people with wrenches can ask me questions and I answer them. Like Wiz has a wrench, I answer any question he has because he's put me on to various stories. He's helped out my brand. He's brought people on here, so I appreciate him. So Jonathan, if you want to, put stories in my email is skyllersaunders@gmail.com. Again, that's skyllersaunders@gmail.com. So yeah, Ebro in the morning is no more. It's a wrap. And they were probably, I would say, tops, they're probably getting $110,000 a year each. And Ebro might have been getting maybe $250,000, maybe $300,000. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure, but it's probably around that amount because they didn't have high ratings. Their personal people meter, I think it's called, the PPM, it was way off. It's like it was in the toilet. Like Steve Harvey had his neck on everybody in the New York area, and then you had people like Elvis Durham, I think his name is. Hold on, Z100. Z100 is a problem. They are a force to be reckoned with. Where is it? What the hell? This is a weird show today. I can't find anything I want. Elvis Duran. WHTZ. They're a problem. He is a problem. He is serious. And I think I can't remember if they were part of iHeartRadio. I don't think so, no. They're part of Sirius. So yeah, I can't shed a tear. Can't shed a tear for him. It just seemed like it was. I learned zero from them. If you want to talk about radio shows you learn something from, Mr. Troy Star Terrain, I've learned so much from him. Tremendous amounts of information and education. I mean, there was days I was in school. I would have my CD player. Anybody knows what a CD player is? Anybody know what a CD is? If you remember what a CD is, I'm happy for you. Well, that's great. That's great, Jonathan. Thanks. But if you remember what a CD is, there was a CD. There was a compact disc. It was like this, and you put it in a player, and it rotates on the player, and it produces sounds. Okay. But also, if you had the right kind of CD player, it also had a radio player on it as well. That's what I had. I had a radio player on there, and I would listen to it. I'll be on like for study halls and stuff like that. I'll just go to the bathroom and listen to the Star and Buck Wild morning show, and learn and laugh, learn, be intrigued, be disgusted, be enthralled. Like, it was a roller coaster ride. It was. That's why I call it. That's another plug I have. the story of the the story about the Star Report. And then I talked about it in the Spirit of Radio, which he played, which is a Rush song. He played on hip hop radio in the morning before the Breakfast Club got the idea of playing Nirvana's "Smells Like Teen Spirit." No, like songs. Sorry, I mean songs. Okay, like songs. You owe me. If that's a question, that's $80. You owe me. So this is the reality of it all. So yeah. So yeah, Ebro meant nothing to me. I mean, like I said, I learned about Judy Pace, Josh Gibson, Doug Henning, Rush, of course, and Chic. Just so many different Mansa Musa, um, um, just so many different figures and different. Learned about the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. I learned about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I learned about all kinds of different people and figures and studies, all from the Starbuck One Morning Show, and he would have some kind of comedic, interlude to begin with. Then he'd have guests on. He had great guests. He could tussle with the guests. He have much respect for the guests. Some of the best, one of my favorites. I think my favorite interview is with Lil Flip. Lil Flip is probably my favorite interview with him. It was so great. They're talking about entrepreneurship. They're talking about his music. Niggas talking to my 9-go bang. That's the quote of the year, goddamn. So, I just became attuned to that sound. I just became, very, it was a very wonderful experience. And then it got cut off because of remarks he made. But that was a genius chess move that he did. He knew what he was doing. I'm not going to get into the details. It's been done so many times over and over. But that was a brilliant. He doesn't like to be called genius, but it was a brilliant, masterful chess move that he made against DJ Benji, who's probably a good guy. He said in a lot of interviews he would say he's probably a good kid. He's probably a good guy. It wasn't personal. With Mr. Choice Star Terrain, it's just business. So Ebro being axed, like I said, that's part of the program. I mean, it's like Mr. Choice Star Terrain. He never hung out around shows unless it was YouTube for more than 2 or 3 years. He stuck around for 2 to 3 years in his radio career on Slop 97. Then he went up to Connecticut on Jive 104. Then he went to Jive 105. Then he was at if I can remember correctly, Pulse 87. Then he was at 100.3 The Beat. Well, before then, he was at I think that's the best way he went. 100.3 The Beat. Then he went to Hood Promo Radio. Then he went to YouTube. If I'm not mistaken, I think that was everybody. If I'm not mistaken, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, my dumb ass. Angie Camacho. I'm back again. Well, welcome back, Camacho. I'm just gonna call you Camacho because it looks weird. The first name is weird. I wish you luck that you with money on a ticket. Okay, thanks. Appreciate it. But yeah, so they're out of here. Ebro in the morning. I just thought, something else I can miss. I'm not gonna miss, but something else I could do without with. Do without. Excuse me. I swear. I don't know what it is today. Do without. But it's fun. It's fun to look at this and see where their paths are going to go. I think they're going to go in separate paths. I really do. I really think they're going to go in separate paths. I think Ebro is going to continue with Apple Music. I think Laura, she's going to do her own thing. She's probably going to have like a show like Angela Yee. She's probably going to have her own show on Flop 97. And Rosenberg's probably going to have his own boutique or something like that. I don't know what he's going to do. He just seems like he's. I'm not calling him a culture vulture. Don't get it confused. But it just seems like he gives off those vibes. Like, yeah, I know hip hop. Yeah, I'm so good with this. I'm all right. I probably know more about hip holier than you. And like, he's like a holier than thou kind of guy. That's the image I get from him. That's what he gives off. That's what he exudes. He exudes that kind of sensibility to me. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But it's very serious that we explore the ideas of well, it's not that serious. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's not that serious, but it's very interesting as we explore Ebro in the morning. 13 years. That's actually a good run. Over a decade, that's a good run. Like I said, Mr. Choice Our Terrain got way more listeners, I should say. He had way more listeners. He had. I don't have to say the same thing over and over. This has been said over and over, but he had more viewers at one point than Howard Stern in the city of New York. It just bubbled right under. It crossed over and then it went right under. You know how many he had. So that's the kind of impact that Mr. Choice Our Terrain had. And he came through and gangstered his way through. I'm talking more about Mr. Choice Our Terrain than Ebro. But it's true. He gangstered his way on the show. He didn't carry anybody's crates. He never carried anybody's bags. He was never a literal DJ. He was never like a disc jockey. They called him a shock jock, but he was way more than that. He was not even that's like calling like I don't know. It's like calling it's like calling the White House. Oh, it's just another building. This is just shock jock. It's just a building. It's just a house. You're calling the White House a house. That's what's kind of like when you call Mr. Choice Our Terrain a shock jock. It's like okay, sure, he shocked you. He's a disc jockey, but he's not really. And that's what always tripped me up too. Whenever they said about his name, he's like DJ Star, DJ Star, DJ Star, DJ Star. Like he never called himself DJ anything ever that I know. He just was Star. But during his situation with Rashawn Casey, the news outlets all picked up and said DJ Star, DJ Star. So if you didn't know any better, he was DJ Star. But anybody who knew something about him he was just Star. But it's a different game. Maybe, like I said in the piece that I wrote, maybe they'll go on YouTube. Maybe they'll utilize all the tools they have available on YouTube, which is amazing because there's no cancel. You can't get canceled unless you say or do something. They got canceled because their ratings, I would imagine. That's the reason why they got canceled. Because they got ratings that were abysmal. They couldn't, outclass themselves. They presented themselves to be, kind of like just everyday averages, just average, not interesting, not particularly good, not particularly bad, just okay, not really a success, not really a not a success, just somewhere in between, somewhere in the middle. So I just thought that was very intriguing that Ebro and company would end their. I don't know. I think their run was ended. Their run was ended. They didn't end their run. They didn't end on their own note. Their run was ended. Based on their view count. Not their view count, yes, on YouTube, I think, but also on the radio, on terrestrial radio. And I think they were on Sirius XM for a while or something like that. That's what I understand. They were in that slot. That was a coveted morning slot. 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. 10 a.m. Jesus Christ. 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. And it's rarefied air up there because once you get to the point of like Elvis Duran, it's something serious. So they got stomped on. I think even the breakfast company. I swear to. Let me take a sip. Let me take a sip. Okay, the Breakfast Club even had their necks out and had the heel of Steve Harvey's boot on their neck, and they still beat Ebro in the morning by a good amount. You can look all this up. This is all available on the internet. The Breakfast Club has, a lot of people say, what do they survive on? I think what they survive on the most is, or what, the Breakfast Club, they survive mostly on guests, who their main guest is. Not really on their own merit. They have to rely on a guest, coming in and saying their piece. That's the reality of that. And that was similar to Ebro, but I think it was even worse than Ebro because they were not even good at, guiding through their guests. I didn't even care what they had to say. I really did not care. I had nothing. I had nothing to care about when they got on the microphone. It didn't resonate with me. Nothing did. They didn't teach me anything. They didn't make it funny. They didn't make it fun. They weren't making any jokes that were hidden. They weren't, had any interludes or any sketches that were interesting or funny. Oh my God. On I'm trying to the New Nigger Chronicles. The New Nigger Chronicles on Mr. Choice Star Terrain show and also losers, burnouts, and wannabes, and those creeping on the come up celebrity report. Nobody ever says that. Who says that? Losers, burnouts, and wannabes, and those creeping on the come up. Like, that's extraordinary. Nobody does that. Mr. Choice Star Terrain did, though. So, to Ebro, Paul, Laura, hey, I know y'all are going to land on your feet, but, I mean, especially Ebro. Ebro, it was his show. It's Ebro in the morning. And then Laura and Peter just had to go along for the ride. So, yes, they are boring. Yes, they are. Very much so. And that's another reason why they got axed. I wonder how they formed the group. Laura, I think it's Laura Styles. Oh, Laura. Yeah, it's Laura Styles. A pushover, Rosenberg, a sucker. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that, Wiz. I agree with that. But that is what I have to say for that. Salute and farewell. All right, now speaking of salutes, I don't salute this guy. All right, so there's a guy who finessed the Veterans Affairs for $146,000 for lying saying that he was part of a Marine sniper team, and that he even went on to Facebook and different groups and said that he was part of their team. And when they asked him, where were you, man? What part did you serve? What was your attachment? And he would just be like, I forget, I don't remember, I don't know. And he claimed to have a Purple Heart. Anybody who knows what a Purple Heart is, it's a very serious, profound. You don't win it, and it's hardly an award, but it's just a decoration, I guess you can say. It's a decoration that says that I was injured in the combat zone, and that I can put this on my uniform. So this is like a huge case of stolen valor. Man from Minnesota. $146,287 defrauded the VA. Now, I wish I would do something crazy like this. This is crazy. He was convicted of lying about serving in the military, defrauding the Department of Veterans Affairs. Michael, and it's a weird way of spelling it, Wicker, pieced together a whale of a story claiming that he had served in combat. This is from military.com. Combat in Iraq, even going so far as stating he had earned a Purple Heart as a member of the Marine Corps. Come on now. That's me. If you don't know anything about me, I'm a United States Marine. And that just seems like that's just out of the picture for me. That's just weird. That's weird to me. According to the prosecutors in the case, Wicker forged a combat record packed with false information. He claimed he had graduated from sniper school, was deployed to Iraq in 2005 with Lima Company, survived a stint as a prisoner of war, and earned they say it's prestigious. I don't know if it's prestigious, but the Purple Heart for being wounded in combat. However, a federal investigation uncovered what Wicker was really doing in 2005, living as a civilian in Michigan. So he was just saying some BS to get some money. And it's crazy because it's like he had to known that he was going to get caught. Okay, so there's people like myself. I earn disability checks or deposits every month. Okay, I didn't lie about that. I kept it 100. I kept it $1. I have a binder full of all the different medical examinations I have. There's no way I can even fake the funk, and I'm so glad because it's money every month, tax free. It's wonderful. It's great. All right, who he get the money from? The government? Well, from the government, but it took away from veterans. It took away from other veterans and getting their money. So it's both. I would say, Wiz. He took away from other veterans that should have gotten care or money, and then instead he just funneled it for himself. I can't respect the jokes. Usually I say I respect the jokes, but he's trying to take my money. Forget that. It's real niggas. Real niggas. All the niggas that's getting their money for real. That's who should be getting his pay. And that's how the government found out about it. His conviction for wire and mail fraud highlights how stolen valor exploits an already overburdened disability system. These false hijinks usually make veterans angry but do not involve any serious crime. But this case is among the most egregious I have ever seen. He's just a few years old, a couple years older than me. He's 39. Prepare to be trolled by the best of them. Okay. I don't know what that means, Jake, but thanks for that. It says perhaps Wicker, 39, yearned to be a soldier or was just, and I think they meant to say Marine, but because people use soldier and Marine interchangeably. No, there's a big difference. We make the distinction. You should make the distinction as well. It was just looking for a way to get ahead in life without really earning it. Either way, he cooked up quite a story. He said he served with Lima Company 3rd Battalion of the 25th Marine Regiment in Iraq and was taken prisoner by insurgents. There is no doubt his Purple Heart and other honors for meritorious service probably looked impressive to VA claims representatives. But if VA officials, this is weird. I don't even know how he was even able. He apparently he never even served in the military, so I don't even know how he got papers. This look like it. I'm guessing. Oh, well, he's a white guy. He's all right. He's white. He's not. Oh, nigger. Oh, you want to get some benefits? Oh, we gotta see. We gotta put a flashlight under your mama's ass. We're not even sure if telling the truth. Let's see what's happening. I don't know. Oh, white man. Oh, really? You got the Purple Heart? Oh man, where were you hit? Oh, you don't remember? You don't remember where you were hit? Wow. Oh my God. Oh man. Wow. You weren't even hit by shrapnel or anything. You don't remember nothing like that. Oh, okay. Okay. I got you. Well, here are these forms. Fill them out, and we should be able to process you and get you $146,000 plus worth of benefits that could be going to legitimate veterans. Oh yeah, man, that's serious. That's wonderful. But if VA officials had looked more extensively into his Social Security records, they would have seen Wicker was working in retail in Michigan in 2005. Wicker claimed that after he released from capture, he recovered from his wounds and the Marine Corps sent him to sniper school. In reality, the civilian had been hurt in a car accident in 2005 and pleaded guilty to not reporting the incident. How did he do it? How did he do it? Based on the investigation, it's clear Wicker took his time to plan out an elaborately fake scheme. He conjured up bogus dates and details on a false DD-14 form. DD-14 form is basically your I'm out of this situation card. Like I'm done. That's the end of the line. That's the end of your service. Your DD-14. That's like the last document that you receive in the military that sets you up for the rest of your civilian life. Your DD-214 is your last document that says, okay, welcome to civilian life. Here you go. Have a great time. But in 2006, he was ready to take his trickery to new heights, applying for a disability rating and receiving benefits from the VA. When the GI Bill became available for post 9/11 veterans, Wicker signed up for that too. Minnesota Public Radio, NPR, reported that Wicker joined a Marine Facebook group to try to legitimize his fraudulent handiwork. He sent messages to Lima Company veterans claiming to remember certain people and asking for the details that he forgot. In 2020, Wicker tricked one of the group members into vouching for him in a letter to the VA. Oh my God. Even though the veteran had no recollection of serving with Wicker, NPR said. This is white man. This is clearly white man. I would wish a nigga would do this. White people are niggers too, but black niggers, not white niggers. A black nigger, if he was able to do this, he wouldn't be able to do this. They were like, stop the cap. You were never in here. No, you weren't, nigger. No, you weren't. You weren't, nigger. Nigger, no. No, nigger. Nigger, no. They would have stopped him at the first line. That it said he was on going on Facebook and asking people to tell him stuff that he quote unquote forgot when he had no memory of it and to begin with, no recollection at all because he wasn't there. He wasn't in Iraq in 2005, and that was at the height of it. That whole scene. I went into the Marine Corps. I was in the heat of it. I was in the when it was up and running. It was like people were getting laid out on both sides. It was a nasty scene. I was ready for it. I was either going to the sandbox, which is Iraq, or to Afghanistan, which was the mountaintops. So I was ready for either way. But I didn't get the chance. I lost my mind. I went crazy. I had a chemical imbalance. So if you wanted to even check, not only do I have the forms, but I have the chemical makeup of somebody who has a bipolar disorder in my brain. If you did a scan of my brain, you would see that I have bipolar disorder. What, Wiz? What are you asking? Did you lose it or did you find it? Are you? What's it? What's it, Wiz? What you talking about, sir? What do you mean, Wiz? My mind. Still lost my mind. It's somewhere out there stranded. Who said that? I lost my mind. It's somewhere out there stranded. Yup, Wayne. Exactly. Exactly. So he defrauded the system. You can be rated anywhere from, I was all the way back in 2009, 2010. I was rated at 10%. It was on January 1st in 2016 when I was rated 100%. And I had to earn that way. I had to fight for it. All the way. I had to get a lawyer. I had to, it would have been different if I got the money earlier, but, that's what it is. I don't know. His sentencing isn't until a few months from now. So, yeah, this is clearly white man business. Or white man chicory. Or, white man, fraudulent actions. We're not sure how much time he'll get sentenced in a few months from now. Yeah, but this is definitely white man fraudulence. Definitely. I wish a black man would do this. A black male. What is a white male, by the way? This white male. He's not a man. He's a white male. That he would do this. So that's just the reality of that. That's the truth behind that. He didn't, show himself to be an honorable person. If he were, you know what? It's kind of good that he's civilian. Because if he were in the military, he'd be much worse. He would probably get a court martial, and then he'll get dishonorable discharge, or some kind of issue with that, and that would probably hem him up for a lot of things. Like now, he'll probably get 5 years or less, something like that, for mail fraud and wire fraud. Not like murder or robbery or rape or R or SA or anything like that. I shouldn't have said murder. For unaliving somebody intentionally, and with no remorse, or somebody on the street, something like that, or somebody that you love, crime of passion, as they say. But that's just the reality of it. So it says to receive disability payments, been there. A veteran must apply and document either mental or physical injuries, been there. At times both that were caused during their military service, been there. Veterans then have to be examined by doctors with their notes being extensively scrutinized. So I am telling you the truth. I told the truth. I didn't have to lie. I didn't have to, I'm not cheat. I didn't cheat anyway. Like I said, I have a binder. I never had my brain scanned, but it would show that I have the brain of a bipolar person because I have a chemical imbalance. But this Wicker guy, oh my God, he was on some next level stuff. He was on some really next level stuff. He took it to that point where it was like he never understood, the gravity of his actions. Or maybe he understood them, but he didn't want to recognize them. It says Wicker's trial lasted a week, and a jury convicted him on November 21st. He will receive sentencing from a federal judge at a later date. So we can't even watch it on TV. Damn it! That's right. This is a federal case. That's true. This is the VA is federal. So I guess you can't do that. Oh, and then they say, oh, he cooked up quite a story. Oh, the white man, the white male. He was just trying to get by in life. That's all. Oh, let a black male do this. Let a black male do this. See what happens to him. They put that nigga under the jail. And this white nigger, he's gonna get carte blanche. Why she gonna he's gonna scam his way in jail. He's gonna get the commissary. He's gonna he's gonna get the top ramen and the Chips Ahoy cookies. Trade them for cigarettes. Do they still smoke in jails? There has to be a prison somewhere across this country that still smokes in prison, in jail. Somebody still smokes. He's probably going to be making, the what is it, Pruno, the Pruno wine in the in the toilet. Yeah, man. No, but I mean, it's funny, but it's serious at the same time because this guy took a lot of like money out of veterans' pockets. A lot of people that I serve with, they would have loved to get the benefits that he got. They would have loved it. It's called Diddy Juice. It's called Diddy Juice now. Yeah, Pruno. It used to be called Pruno. Now it's Diddy Juice. You got that Diddy Juice? Hooch. Pruno, prison hooch, and prison wine are terms used in the United States to describe an improvised alcoholic beverage. He went from fake improvised explosive devices, IEDs, to he's probably going to be doing improvised alcoholic beverages. Made from apples, oranges, fruit cocktail, fruit juices, hard candy, sugar, high fructose syrup, and possibly even other ingredients, including crumbled bread. God damn. Yeah, Diddy Juice. I like that. That's funny. I like Diddy Juice. Porno sounds like you're saying porno. You gotta be careful with that. Oh man, the lady of the house. Hold on. I might have to extend the show just for her. Hold on, just give me a moment. Give me a moment. Hold on. Just give me 1 second. Why is this going? What the hell? All right, here we go. We're getting closer. Hold on. Just give me 1 moment. Give me 1 moment. It's loading up. It's loading. Hold on. Here we go. Subscribe to Z Therapy Holly Correnti on YouTube for all your Zumba needs. Move and groove to the rhythms and tell friends and family members to join in too. Tell her Silly Sky sent you. How you doing, Holly? What's going on, girl? What's the subject of the day? She has a question. I answer it. Well, the first question kind of was about Ebro in the morning. I don't know if you're familiar. It's a New York City station on Slop 97 or officially WQHT. That show has ended. I talked about the demise of that show, how I really didn't care about them, that they were kind of boring. And now I'm talking about veterans. You can relate to this, Holly. Veterans, I was talking about how this guy named Michael Wicker, he defrauded the VA for $146,000 plus. And the fact that he had, was never really a veteran at all in the first place. He was actually a retail worker and a guy who claimed that he was in a car collision and got an injury, and he didn't report it. So he's just all around POS, all around. So you put up 2 new videos. I gotta check that out. I'll check that out. No, I'm not at all. Okay. Oh, my ex-husband defrauded the. Oh my gosh. Wow. Is that why you broke up with him? No, I'm just kidding, Holly. I'm just kidding. That's your business. I don't want to, get into your business. He does not deserve the 100%. Wow. Was he in combat? I was not in combat. I get 100%, but I was not in combat. He's a lying BS artist. Woo! Holly got the fire tonight. She got the fire. She's got the fire up under her. He's a lying BS artist. Don't even give him the credit of being an artist. Because he seemed like he wronged you. Anybody wrongs Holly is wrong with me. So, but yeah, so he defrauded the government. Wasn't even a veteran. He wasn't even a veteran. It wasn't even like you can almost see. Okay, let me get this dollars out of here because they had all the BS I had to go through. But for that, that's a different situation. That's a wholly different situation. His 100% is for PTSD and substance abuse. He was deployed but not in combat. Okay. How gross giving percentage for substance abuse? I was just wondering that. I didn't know you could get that. They must be giving out that, like candy. Because I remember through all the programs I've been in through for the VA, all I knew were people that had alcoholics and drug users, stuff like that. And I guess they were fighting. I didn't know their whole business, but they were probably fighting to get that 100. Cause that 100 is sweet. I can't lie. That 100% is pretty sweet. Did that guy have to pay back to the VA? I don't know. He probably will after he serves his term. He hasn't been sentenced yet. He's just been convicted by a jury in federal court on November 21st. I'm not too sure if he'll pay back the VA or not. His 100% paperwork has it in the reason section. Holly's she's no more good. She's sick into her stomach. Not laughing at you're sick to your stomach, but like you're telling the truth. It's amazing. Oh my God. Yeah, but let me see. There are tax dollars hard at work. Yeah, yep. I pay one tax. I actually pay a tax. I pay a Medicare tax. I think it's like $100, something like that. I don't want to pay it, but I got to if I want to get Social Security. And those Social Security checks are nice too. It's the only tax in the Social Security check. There's no income tax. There's no payroll tax. There's no any other taxes. It's just the $100 for the Medicare. That's it. That's a pretty good deal. That's a pretty good deal for me. And I've earned it. I did not lie. I did not cheat. I did not steal from anybody. I told the truth. I was recommended when I was in Brockton, Massachusetts. There was some people that said, "Hey," well, actually, before I went to Brockton, when I was in Pennsylvania, when I was in Coatesville, Pennsylvania, all they had to do was tell me, "Look, man, if you're here for over 30 days, they gotta pay you 100%. They pay you 100% if you're here for over 30 days." I was able to get a truck off of that money. I don't drive anymore, but I used to drive. When I drove, that was on that was the taxpayers' money hard at work, like Holly says. But I didn't steal it. I didn't cheat. I would feel horrible. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. I wouldn't be able to I wouldn't look myself in the mirror if that were the truth. Yeah, my ex-husband drank and drove, crashed into a tree, and tells people he has a TBI from being in a Humvee during an IED. Wow. That is beyond, BS. That is like, you have to sit back in awe at the BS of that. Oh my gosh. Was he? What was he? Was he pillow talk? How did this? How did was he? How did this come out? Does this come out like y'all just sitting at the kitchen table and hon, I was in Iraq and I had an IED and then I had a TBI and it was just. I tried to report him to the Stolen Valor Committee. Yeah, that's the best way to go. Stolen Valor Committee. That's the best way to go. That's serious stolen valor because that's people have died, literally been killed by IEDs. Thousands of people, thousands, not just hundreds, thousands of people been hit by IEDs. That was probably the bulk of the. I think it's. I always get it wrong. I think it's like 3,000 or 4,000. I think it's 4,000 people that died in Iraq, and I think it's 2,000 or 3,000 that died in Afghanistan or were killed. They had their lives stolen from them, I should say. Yeah. Well, Holly, it's not too late. You can still, if you want to get him back for his waywardness, his ugly dealings. Holly says he claims he was discharged from the military for PTSD and TBI, but I have all of his paperwork and he's never been treated for TBI, but he has multiple DUIs and one he drove into a tree and his ex-wife. Wow. Confirms the whole story. I had the police report. Wow. Some people. That's the question. That's the cliche. Some people will do anything for money. Well, that's not true. That's a cliche, but it doesn't ring true. Usually, cliches are true. They're just well trod. They're just well worn. They're said over and over and over and over and over again until they have no meaning. But that really doesn't have meaning when somebody says that. But if you meet him tomorrow, he'll tell you the whole line of BS. Oh man, like this is like a weird, funny, serious, scary story. Cause like there's somebody doing this right now. Somebody, as we're talking right now, does not deserve 100%. Does not deserve it. Does not deserve it at all. That's a fact. That's a whole fact. They do not deserve it. And that, you know what? I mean, not trying to blame. I mean, I put the full blame on him. He's a white nigger. Okay? He's a white male, not a white man. He's not a real human being. But it's like the government. Come on, man. Come on. The doctors. You need a doctor. You need doctors to evaluate and to scrutinize your entire system, your entire way of the nature of your disorder or your disease or your injury. You need doctors. If my daughter was a boy, we were thinking to name him after one of my ex-husband's army buddies who was killed in an explosion and he witnessed it. If the story is true, but he wasn't there, he wasn't. Wow. Allowed to be deployed, I also have that paperwork. So I would have named my kid after a lie. Holly. Wow. How did that even? I mean, he must have lied about other things. You don't have to get into that, but he must have lied about other things. He seems like a compulsive liar. That's a pretty serious situation that he has. That's a pretty serious condition, not his his injuries or his illness that he's getting the 100%, but that seems like very serious issues. Can you imagine? Yeah, that's crazy. Super compulsive. Lifelong liar. Yep. Lifelong liar. That's whoa. Whew. I just, you know, I try to wrap around. I actually thought about people that were like this. Like, as I was going through my, different battery of tests and evaluations, I was like, damn, somebody has to go through a lot to get to this. How can you cheat this? You can't cheat this. Then I come up with a story like this, and I'm like, well, I guess you can cheat this. The way they were treating me, how the doctors had to evaluate me. The reason why I even know who Holly is, the reason why we're even friends, is because I was in Brockton, Massachusetts for 5 months. 5 months. And I was there, and the docs said, you had troubles. You have troubles. You have an issue. You have bipolar disorder that is beyond what we thought of when we first evaluated you. Because I was with bipolar when I was out from 2008. I was in Brockton in 2012 to 2013. I steadily had my claim increased over a period of time from 10% to 50% to 70%, then eventually to 100%. That was after Brockton. That was like 4 years later. Yes, living proof. Yeah. So the bipolar never showed as a teen. No, never. Not to not I didn't. It didn't show off. It didn't go off. I didn't emit any kind of actions or anything like that. I mean, I was just a glum kind of guy sometimes. I was kind of awkward. I'm still awkward as hell, but it didn't manifest until I got into the Marine Corps. And it didn't progress until later on, years after. I have a few bipolar adult friends, 40 and 45, and they have significant difficulties in life. Yeah. If you're not on drugs, I'm on drugs. I take olanzapine, clonazepam, and lithium. Those are the main psych drugs that I take. So I love my drugs. I was on the wrong drugs for a long time. I was on Seroquel. I had Geodon on for a moment there. I had aripiprazole. Hold on. Let me see if I can see what that pharmacy name is. Abilify. I was on Abilify, Geodon, Seroquel. All of them were horrible. They were horrible. Seroquel made me feel like I was gonna die in a forest fire or something like that. It was just a horrible feeling to be on that. I don't think either is on the correct medications. Yeah, you gotta be careful. I would if I could push, I would say lithium, olanzapine, and clonazepam. They work wonders. They're wonder drugs. I will vouch for them because there's a totally different way. Totally different way of being. Totally different. One of them is having an issue with Vylar. I saw those commercials. I was wondering, I don't know if you've ever heard of that. Yeah, seen those commercials. Seroquel is horrible. You know what else I always thought about? And I'm waiting for the story they must have not had. I was thinking about when I was in Lowell. I was in Lowell, Massachusetts. And anybody who knows Lowell, they're famous for crack cocaine in the 90s. In the 90s, the whole area was flooded with crack cocaine. It's even in the movie The Fighter. The Fighter is with Christian Bale. I think he won the Academy Award as the supporting Academy Award for being one of the trainers of the boxer. His brother, actually, he was actually based on a real person. But anyway, there's a whole documentary you can watch. It's called High on Crack Street. I live just a few blocks from where that documentary was filmed. But anyway, so there's a place called the Crescent House, and they had the people there. They were either drug addicts, alcoholics, or they were mental case patients. So that was the truth. I think it is. You remember where I lived? That's exactly where I lived. He was at the Crescent House, yeah. Okay, well, hold on. You're going back. Let me go back. She went on it, and she feels good, but it made her memories produce. Oh my gosh! And she is nonstop lactating. She's horrified. They're telling her to stay on the medication, and she won't. Wow. Yeah, that's why I say the big three. The big three: lithium, clonazepam, and olanzapine. That's why I say it's Crack Street. I was at 201 Appleton Street, Lowell, Massachusetts. That's where I was. I lived there for a little over a year. Little over a year. It was a few months. It may not be a whole year. It was a few months, I think. But yeah, so that was crazy. And then Holly says her ex-husband lived at the Crescent House. I think a lot of people that were at Brockton were originally at the Crescent House too, and then you transition to Cherry Street, or you go from Cherry Street to Brockton. It's kind of like everything bounces off. You're at I always get this messed up. Oh my gosh, what's it called? Holly, what's that hospital near the Crescent House? Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm trying to remember now. Okay, I'm not. This isn't going to be fun. This is going to be fun. Oh my god. Hold on. Bedford. You're at Bedford? They didn't have a psych ward. Then they just had a psych ward. I was like one of the first patients to be in their psych ward. He has lived at Cherry Street multiple times and for a long time. Yeah, Bedford. Thank you. See, Holly always gets me. She always saves the day. Heroin Holly, not heroin, but heroin. Super, a female hero. Yeah, the Edith North Rogers Memorial Veterans Hospital. Yeah, that's where I worked, and that was horrible. That was terrible. Like, I had good days, but like at the same time, it was just horrible because I didn't have the right drug. I was not on. I was not taking any of the drugs. But that's what I was thinking about doing. I was like, I got all these drugs piled up. I could be selling these on the street. But you know what? That'd be idiotic. That'd be really stupid. Because you get caught and you're going to federal prison for like a long 5, 10, 20 years just because you wanted to get a few extra dollars or something like that. I mean, you got to think. It comes across your mind. It actually comes across your brain. It comes across your brain. All right, about to get my haircut. Uh-oh. I see you, girl. You got to steal that shortcut. You still had that shortcut, Holly. I remember you didn't have any long hair. I remember you always had that shortcut. I guess it's like a bob, but I could be wrong. Is it a bob? Is that about right? But salute to you and respect to you, Holly. I appreciate you for coming in and adding your 10,000 million billion dollars worth of game about your ex and engaging in the topic. I appreciate you. You're always welcome. You're always a lady, and you're welcome to say whatever you want on here. All right. So, hey, well, Holly's out. There's 0 people in here. I got 8 likes. I appreciate the day. I don't care. It could be 20 people that I had in this room. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow probably. Take care.